Okay, we're going to talk about some of the basics for Premiere, mainly how to add motion to clips and control things, basically like you did in Flash, where you had keyframes and you can make things move through different positions or changes opacity or rotation, scale. And then we'll cover a couple other basics too. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and drag a clip that I've already imported in the program. I'm going to drag it into one of my video tracks. So got that squared away. And then one thing to mention right away is you can zoom in, kind of like you can in Photoshop. You could zoom in and get a better look at your timeline, so you can break it down to smaller increments. So here's like 1 second, 2 second, and you can get down to really kind of a close zoom level if you need to, so you're not working on such big amounts of time at one time. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one of the clips that we have, and then you have some options that go up across the top of the screen that'll let you control some of those issues that we're interested in. So here's Effect Controls is one of the tabs we have. But go to Effect Controls, and we're going to talk about things, we're going to do some motion ideas. And you can also see there's an opacity idea here too. So those are both kind of where we're headed right now. But in the motion area, we're going to go ahead and try to make this little clip become animated. So first of all, the clip that I picked is kind of a screen recording of iMovie. So you can't quite make out the whole scene. So let me go ahead and adjust this down so you can kind of see what our whole screen looks like a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and shrink it down so you can see what that looks like. So I clicked on a little scale tool here so I could go ahead and pull this down, and here's the actual clip itself. See these little handles around it? Same kind of thing you can do in Photoshop. You can rotate all that kind of business right from the very get-go. So that's kind of a cool thing too you can check out. And just clicking on there once you can see the handles. I'm going to undo that real quick. Okay, and then here is where we're headed. We're going to talk about creating keyframes. So this little option here will let you add or remove keyframes. So once I clicked in there, it looks like I made my first keyframe already. That little triangle is our keyframe. I'm going to go ahead and move down the timeline a little bit. Here it moves down to about 3 seconds. And then I'm going to make another keyframe. In some of the programs, you can just make a change to that. I'm going to create the keyframe. Let's try that real fast, see if it'll do that for us. Yeah, if you go ahead and just make a change, it kind of can tell that you're going to, that there's something different between that point in time and this point in time. So it made a new keyframe for you automatically. You could click on that and then go there, but it looks like the sequencing isn't that important. So let's check that out, see what happened there. So as we scrub through it, you can kind of see it went from one keyframe with the scale, the size of this thing was one position, and then we went to another position. So you can do all kinds of things along those lines. See, we've got position so that you can actually move this, the recording around. And this is a great idea to use for still pictures, just JPEGs or any of the Photoshop layers that you might import. It's pretty much what I want you guys to take advantage of when it comes to using Premiere versus iMovie. So let's look at a couple more of these. I'll do one more change to this one, and then we'll try a couple other ideas real fast. All right, so I'm going to slide down here. And again, you can do a couple different ways. You can just make the change yourself up here, and it'll make the keyframe, or you could click there and then go that direction. So it looks pretty straightforward to make size adjustments to your clips. And again, don't forget about making multiple layers. You've got up to 99 video tracks, so you can stack elements on top of each other, just like Photoshop. So we can have text flying around, all kinds of cool stuff. All right, let's talk about doing some position. So and you can kind of tell what's going to happen. We've got other tabs to kind of animate or create keyframes for other ideas. So here's a position one. Let's go ahead and start one of those. So I'm just going to make the clip move. So there's the first position, and then let's go ahead and have it move to another position across the screen. So we are probably have created that keyframe. So we also have the scale, impacting it already. So it's going to move position across the screen, and you can actually kind of make out barely the little tail. This little piece here is going to usually be a pathway that you can control and modify that path that it's following when it goes from point A to point B. So let's take a look at that too. So you can kind of make things move in different directions. So basically, it's pretty much like Flash, and doing motion tweening. The trick is to find this window, Effect Controls, and then you can do all the basic things I want you to try out, including opacity. So let's do one more. So we've got things moving, we've got it changing size. Let's do one last one here real quick, and I think that'll cover probably 90% of the basic things we want you to try out. So here's opacity, how transparent it is. So let's go ahead and create a keyframe there, and then why don't we make it fade in? So we're at the beginning of that clip. We'll have this thing kind of fade in. So let's take the opacity and slide it way down. So let's still going a little slow to move down there. I don't know if you can type a number into this one or not. I don't think so. Oh yeah, you can. So let's just get it down to 0. All right, cool. And then let's move down the timeline a wee bit. And then let's get it back to 100%. Okay, so we've basically done the same kind of idea. So you'll have an easy way to fade in or fade out. So when you look at our basic assignment for our sample project, this pretty much covers all of it. We could talk about a couple of things. I think we need to talk about filters and transitions and then sound effects. But that'll get you going on a lot of good things. And all right, hope that helps.